As teachers, you have a calling on your life to bring value to students each day, and you do that. You ensure that students are engaged and that you build positive relationships that will shape meaningful outcomes both in your classroom and in the world around you. Sometimes the external factors make you question your calling. Let's see what Scripture can tell us about this. In Matthew chapter 14, we find again an amazing interaction between Peter, the called, and Jesus. Immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear.
But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid."
"Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and, beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." Jesus literally calls Peter and tells him to walk on the water, and Peter walked on the water. Jesus has called you to be effective for the children you are blessed to teach. He has called you to be effective for families that need further accommodation. Sometimes that feels like walking on the water in the era we live in, and the storm around you doesn't make the calling any easier. That storm could be personal or family related. It could be departmental or building level at work. It could be that one parent, because we have all experienced that one parent. It could be mounting community pressures due to irresponsible politicians driven by media who need an enemy to motivate voter turnout, and teachers are the perfect target. The storms can seem overwhelming as they were for Peter, but the question is, can you still have faith in your calling? Can you walk when and where God has called you to walk? Can you be faithful in your service in spite of the storms around you? God obviously believes you can, based on today's scripture. Believe in your calling. Believe that Jesus will reach his hand out to restore your faith when you need him. Be great in faith.